Well, welcome back to the InstallerSHOW 2025 here from the NEC in Birmingham, and here we are once again in the Bixby studio, continuing the conversation with some of our nearest and dearest. And on this next session, we have got Michael from Sensio, who's going to talk to us a little bit about the industry, where he's at, what the business is up to at the moment, and I guess why installers play a really important part in their business, not only today but for the future. So, Michael, over to you, Sunshine. How is things? All good?
Interesting. Very interesting.
Talk to me. What's going on in your world?
Well, I think that, you know, KBB's been my world for 25 years now.
Yeah, so you don't look old enough, mate.
It's a bloody long time.
It is, yeah.
It's just changing. It's different.
Lots going on, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think we've had a huge spike since COVID. Nobody could leave the home. They're going to buy things from our industry. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then we've had the dip to reset the market, and I think it brings different challenges for different people at different times.
Yeah.
And within our industry, there's obviously different segmentation, and each people have different challenges, and everything's unique to that.
Yeah.
But as a whole, I think our industry's not in a great state, but also you've got to be positive, you've got to look for the future.
Yeah.
You've got to find ways of talking to different audiences.
Yeah.
And you're just going to have to do more. You just can't stop doing what you're doing. You're going to find more value.
Yeah, I think one of the good things about our industry, whilst, you know, I think we're getting mixed reviews in terms of where things are at the moment. Some are having, you know, a really good time, others are sort of finding it a little bit challenging. But I think one thing that I always say from this industry is that we really are quite resilient. You know, we've seen it all before. In your 25 years and my 25 years, this is not our first rodeo in terms of this type. Okay, COVID's slightly different to all of that, but we've seen downturns and we've seen the bounce back, and resilience for our industry is really, really important. But last time we spoke, we was in America. You know, I'm going to pretend we're really important, but we weren't. We were sort of dragged over to America to look at KBIS. So what was you doing over there, first of all? Why was you over in the States?
Well, I think America's a huge market. North America's massive. It's something that we're really interested in.
Yeah.
But also we want to get insight to how other parts of our sector in the world are managing what the same phase that we're going through.
Yeah,
so it's not unique just to the UK. You know, KBIS taught us some good insight. Interzum over in Germany has just given us some good insight.
Yeah.
And, you know, just as we feel it, they feel it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get a global perspective of what good practice looks like.
Yeah.
And what's the best bits we can take of brands and sectors of the market that are doing well, and be able to bring it back to our audiences to add more value. So there's more insight to understand what's going on.
And have you found great insight? So on these visits where you've been looking at what people have been doing globally, have you come back with any real nuggets that you go, you know what, we're going to steal that or make it better? What have you found?
I think there's some really good ideas, and there's some absolute, there's everything in between, which is okay. Yeah. But we're trying to just get a bit of insight of, okay, what does the market look like when we go through this, which we're learning? When does it bounce back, which we're learning? And is it going to be in the same state? Hopefully we have enough resilience within market where 80% of the market recovers, but maybe 20% doesn't, or they have to change their business models to find more value. That's why we come to shows like the Installer, to get more insight to the people which have to use our product. And ask basic questions, you know, what can we do better?
But you know, that's a good question in itself. So, you know, you guys are huge supporters of what we do, and it's fantastic. You know, we're developing that relationship, and I think there's much for us to do. We're still learning, we're still shaping the proposition for our sort of corporate manufacturer relationships that we're having. And I know you've been very vocal in terms of how you wish to support us on that. And that's, you know, I have to say, most grateful for that, because you know, we can have great interactions and people can throw a few quid in, but it's got to work for both of us. And you know, how do you think how do you think we can develop that over, you know, the next 6 to 12 months and beyond?
Well, I think what you touched on, you can't just become a member and expect to get anything back. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Yeah, doesn't work.
You've got to add as much value as possible. To this potential audience, and at the end of the day, working with people like yourself gives us access to the audience.
It does, yeah.
but we have to do something with it.
We do. We have to. Yeah.
If you don't take any action to contribute value, you're just wasting your time.
How important are installers in the whole business model? So, you've got a very successful business, a global business, very much a well-known name amongst the industry. What do you need to be doing with installers, and how important are they in the whole thought process for the development of your business?
Well, we think they play a critical part, hence why we focus on it. It is part of that value chain which is important. So, routes to market are important, or the installers can't get access to goods. Fine.
Yeah.
But when they do start using your brand, one, it's got to be easy. It's got to be simple. It can't fail.
Yeah.
And secondly, the feedback loop. It's really, really, really important for us to ask the right questions to the audience. To get the right answers back.
Yeah, definitely.
If we're not talking to them, we can't solve a problem, or we can't understand the problem to solve because we're not talking to the audience.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We've had a few people talking to us from a manufacturing background today, and they're all talking about how they can make the installer life easier, simpler, more efficient. And a lot of that, I think, is born from this global skill shortage that we're seeing at the moment. How are you viewing that as a business? Is it something that you're concerned about? Is it something that you think we can overcome? What's your thoughts on it?
I think in the future we'll have a challenge, for sure, because we know about how many young people come in the industry. I didn't choose to come into this industry, I fell into it.
Yeah, a lot of people do, I think, to be fair.
I just didn't want a normal job, so I ended up selling lights into the kitchen industry. I don't know how we attract that type of career paths where you can give people long-term value within careers and you can build it. I don't know how we do that. I think it's a challenge. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many kitchens you manufacture if you've got no one to install them.
Well, this is a common thread really to conversation here, and I think you're absolutely right. And listen, there's a lot of innovation in technology, especially in your space. Lighting today is very different than it was 10 years ago, probably even 5 years ago. But there is one commonality, and that is somebody is going to need to fit that at some point. And the whole industry kind of relies on that, don't they?
I can imagine innovation and technology and AI doing a lot of the front end of design. I could see it designing stuff.
Yes.
But it can't fit it.
It can't fit it, yeah.
And if you think about how to combat AI today in terms of a career path, you choose something that's hands-on in trade. It's not going to be automated out.
Absolutely.
So I don't know that as if technology expands and accelerates and get better, if it actually releases more of the technology jobs to move more into trade jobs. So I don't know how the markets will shift, but I know that it's going to be different than what it is today.
It is, yeah, that's a good point. Question to you then. So, I can certainly see it through trends and through the way that I live my life, but the space at home, we're interacting with it, we're valuing it differently, and maybe COVID has got a big part to play in that, as you kind of alluded to earlier. But what part does lighting play in all of that then? So, because lighting once upon a time was just the thing you turned on and off when you walked in or out of a room. It's not that anymore.
Oh, no one gave a shit when I started.
No one,
No one had a clue, no one put it in, and no one cared. So if you look at the category and where it's stuck in the selection process, it was absolutely bottom. It was like selling a dead horse.
Even if it was on there at all.
No one cared. And it's changed massively where it is now becoming more the priority in the category. It's integrated more into the furniture. It makes the furniture look better. But if you think from COVID, before COVID, we used to go to work Monday to Friday. We don't now.
We don't.
We work from home. So home now is not just the family place. It's a workspace.
It is,
And the lighting's terrible. So it's a huge, interesting change for us. It gives us more scope, more width to think. But the home's changed. So our part changes with that too.
Where do you put your effort in there? As a business like yourself, is it putting your effort into installations and installers and getting them to understand it? Is it to consumer to get them to understand it better? Where's your focus in terms of sharing your business?
So I have a really defined model that we try to follow. It's not mine. It's just from good business textbooks. But we try to just make the wheel go faster. Turn it faster, turn more momentum, push harder every day. But the breakthrough doesn't come from one big thing. It comes from lots of small things done well every single day with huge amounts of consistency over a long period of time, which then creates the major breakthrough.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you what our major breakthrough has been. I can just tell you it's bloody hard work.
And there's a lot of it.
And it's a lot of it every single day, pushing for more.
Yeah. And that's incredibly important. I think that's incredibly important for any business. And I guess even us as an organisation, very similar to that. We don't really have any great to-dos because, let's be honest with you, an institute for installation isn't the most sexiest thing in the world, but it's about putting lots of different pieces of the jigsaw together to support the other sexier parts of the industry, right?
Yeah, totally.
Good. What do you think manufacturers in general should be doing to support the world of installation? You've stepped forward. Not everybody has. We've got a lot of businesses up here. There's a lot of brands up here now, which is fantastic, and you're of course one of them. But there's so many more. Why aren't we able to bring more people in? Why aren't more people taking installation seriously, do you think?
It takes effort, it takes time, you've got to commit, you've got to create action. Anyone can join an association very quickly, very easily, with no effort, with a bit of money. It's easy access, but actually getting into something and committing and doing something
making it work.
It's bloody hard work.
It's hard work.
You've got to think about it. Our discussion in America, we talked a lot about the challenges of it. Have we come away and just actioned it fully? No, because we're in a declining market. We've got to keep the economics of our business working to allow us to do other things. So I think at the moment, I don't know if it's the energy of where you need to prioritise because of the market downturn. But even if the market's not great, you still have to run what you've got, but you have to look for the future.
You do.
So you can't just stop and run your business today, because tomorrow will come really quickly.
I think that's so important because we know that businesses are already thinking forward to 2026 and 2027. When at the point where we should be well and truly through whatever this problem is that we're facing at the moment, and it is important in order for our bounce back to be able to be in a strong position to be able to do that. So thinking now about that is the time.
Totally, but I think a proportion of businesses are in survival mode. A proportion of businesses are thinking about the future. So I think it depends on how good the economic engine is of a business. Depends how forward looking they can be.
I think that's a very fair and honest point. Yeah, absolutely. So what's in store for you guys over the next 12 months then? What are we going to be seeing from you?
So really there's two sides for our business and the way we look at things. Keep making the wheel go quicker. It's important. So incremental gains. A huge part of that is engineering. We are heavily invested in design and engineering, which allows us to innovate. But you've got to innovate to solve a problem. You can't just innovate.
Correct.
Or be more pink fluffy lights.
Over-engineered solutions that are not needed.
No one cares. So we've got to get focused on the problem we're solving, which we are. And a big part of that is expanding internationally, because for us now, we've been really fortunate over the last 25 years where we've been able to build value around the brand and in our category. But I now want to do that on a bigger stage as well.
Is this global domination?
And so it's bloody hard work.
It's hard work.
It's really hard.
Easier said than done, right?
It sounds a piece of piss, but actually when you go do it, I can just barely speak English. You try go to an international fair in Germany.
Even America, they speak a different language.
They don't understand me. So it's not easy. And, we're not arrogant to think it'll be easy to do. But I do know that as long as we focus on the customer and we keep focused on value and we listen and we don't get arrogant that we know what's going on, we can keep building value.
I'm going to finish off with a question. Put you on the spot a little bit. What do you want from us over the next 12 months? And when I say us, I mean the Institute.
It's important that I want more understanding from that audience. I want to really understand what they want solving from us. What can we do more? What should
that
we
communication bit?
I want that connection to that audience. I can't get to that audience particularly easily because we have to come to shows like this to talk to them.
It's not easy.
It's really hard, and it costs a lot of money, and it takes a lot of effort, and it takes us away from the day-to-day. But I want a platform to be able to communicate in a way that drives good two-way communication.
I think that's fair, and that is actually where we can come in and support you on that. And we're willing and open to do that. I think the thing for us is the call to action, I guess, to the installer base, because we have got an audience, and that's great. But traditionally, it's a group of very busy people that are very brand loyal, and whether that's because they're just genuinely loyal to a brand, or whether it is that they don't understand the length and breadth of the other brands that are out there to support them. who really knows? But I think the call to action for me, based on what you're saying, is if you're an installer out there, people like you want to hear from them. You want to listen to what they have to say, and therefore engagement from our audience is incredibly critical.
I think the key takeaway for me is that we care about them and what they do.
Yeah.
And I don't expect them to down tools and just come and chat with us because that's money.
Yeah.
I understand times are hard too, but we do truly care and do truly want to add value.
Yeah.
But you can only do that if you can talk to them.
Yeah, and I think that's a really fair point. Listen, that's been great. It's a good conversation, boy. And you know, thank you for your frankness on some of that stuff. I know we've had some frank conversations as well. Few more expletives between us when we're in.
That's all good. I've been really mindful
You've
about
been
that
really
too.
good. We've been great. We've been great. But no, seriously, a couple of things. Thanks for your time today.
Yeah.
I know you're busy, but thanks for your support, and thanks for your support, not just the Buzz as an organisation, but of installers and installation. And I'm really, really pleased to be working with a brand like you. You're great.
This is our industry.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We've been in it 25 years. We're going to be at another 25. I want to take it seriously. I want to contribute to it. And we care about making it better for everyone that's part of it.
I nearly brought a tear to my eye, that did. Michael, thank you very much for everything. And thanks again. To everybody else, thanks for joining us today. As you know, we're here for another day and a half here at the Installer Show 2025 here in Birmingham. Please do join us for further conversation and join in that conversation via our social media channels. But until then, take care. Thank you very much. And Michael, you're a gent. Thanks a lot, mate.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.